Cui Hao's most famous work is Yellow Crane Tower, so today I will share this poem with all of you. The Yellow Crane Tower is named after the yellow crane. The legend of the yellow crane is related to two immortals in history. Think about this. If you go on a trip and visit cultural attractions, you will naturally associate them with their origins. For example, if you go to the Jiangnu Temple, you will definitely think of Meng Jiangnu crying at the Great Wall. This is a constant occurrence, and Cui Hao is no exception. He climbed onto the Yellow Crane Tower and immediately remembered the story of immortals. Then the first four lines of the poem were blurted out and completed in one breath, with a sense of vastness and desolation rushing towards us at once. Next, let's bring our thoughts back to reality. Where was the poet at that time? He was on the Yellow Crane Tower, climbing high and looking far away. What he saw was a bright spring scenery, which was so beautiful. So what the poem describes is from reminiscing to reality, from the vastness to vivid memories, and now it's time to be ended. He actually climbed onto the Yellow Crane Tower during the day, but because the scenery was too beautiful, making him indulged, it was already dusk before he knew it. After this time, the tired birds also returned to the forest. Since the tired birds even know to return to the forest, what about the people wandering outside? Will they naturally develop homesickness? Just as a poem goes that rivers and mountains are exactly wonderful here. After all, it's not my hometown. So, what is so-called homesickness? It is like a seed always being planted in the heart. When it came to the lush grass, the seed had already sprouted. When it reached the mist in the river, the seed broke through the soil. So a vague and boundless homesickness that could not be grasped, but also could not be driven away, suddenly enveloped the poet. Here, I remember another very emotional thing, the relationship between talented scholars and the country. A talented scholar must have a panoramic view of the beautiful rivers and mountains, absorbing the spirit of mountains and rivers for creating touching works. And without the ode from talented scholars, the landscape would also be overshadowed. Let's take a look at the so-called four famous buildings in China. If it weren't for those famous talents who wrote famous poems and essays about the buildings, how could they have the great influence today?